Well, hello there, and welcome to the second edition of PointCast, cedarpoint.com's video weblog. I'm Tony.
And I'm Tyler.
And you know what? We're giving you another Maverick construction update. We have to apologize for the lack of updates between September and now, but you know, with the park closing and all, we have lots and lots of things to do to get ready for the 2007 season. Speaking of which, obviously Maverick, the brand new roller coaster for next year. We're out here, we braved the cold, we braved the snow, because it snowed a little bit last night.
The wind.
Oh my gosh, and we're actually standing on one other side of an electrical building so we can keep the wind out of our face. So props to the construction guys who have to deal with this weather when it gets cold like this.
Yeah.
But right now, the big story is the electrical work. We're connecting the stators. Those are the motors that are actually going to propel the train forward through the 400-foot tunnel, the launch, the second launch, and up the lift hill at the beginning of the ride. Now, Tyler, we have Wicked Twister, which uses an LIM system, which is linear induction motors, and we have Maverick, which uses linear synchronous motors. And I'm not quite sure how that works, but I know you've been reading up on it and studying.
Yeah, without being too technical, they're propelled very similar but different. Wicked Twister has an aluminum fin on the train that passes through an electrical field, and that's what propels that. The Maverick trains are actually going to have magnets attached under the trains, and they'll be passing through this linear synchronous motor electrical current field, which is what's going to launch it up the hill and then also out the tunnel. So a little bit of a difference. They have different power requirements, but very similar in the way they work, both with electrical currents and magnetic fields.
And a lot of people didn't know this, Tyler, but actually you would think that Wicked Twister would use less power than Maverick does, but because of the efficiency of these motors on Maverick, it's a brand new LSM system, this ride's going to use less power than Wicked Twister.
Right, Wicked Twister that needs power in quick bursts to power all those motors, and this is a more consistent power consumption.
So why don't we take a quick look around the rest of the construction site and show you guys what's going on. Well, here we are on the Maverick station platform, and as you can see, workers have completed the top of the elevator shaft. This is actually cosmetic. It's not going to serve any purpose, but it's made to look like the top of a water tower to go with the theming of Maverick.
Now over at the launch tunnel, what we're looking at now are the actual gray steel supports that are going to form the skeleton for the tunnel. There's going to be metal siding and then a roof placed on these steel supports.
And one of the coolest parts about this tunnel is if you look closely at the very end of the launch, that track is going to come really close to that frame, so you're actually going to be enclosed and you won't be able to see the other end of the tunnel, which is one of the great features about this ride, is those close calls. Now here at the end of the ride, you can see two different types of brake fins that are on the brake run. We have permanent brakes that do not move at all, which actually works to slow the train down, and there's also retractable brakes, just like on Top Thrill Dragster. Once you launch out of the 400-foot long tunnel, you're going to actually go over this big hill here, and a lot of people have asked us about the brake fins that are on this piece of track here before you dive towards the lagoon. Those brake fins are there, they're permanent, they don't retract, they're there to control the speed of the ride. We can add brake fins to it or take brake fins away depending on how the ride performs once we start testing.
Right, and then after you come down that hill, by the bridge, around the pond, you go into the 360-degree Heartline roll, my personal favorite.
Mine too.
Right, and then you're gonna fly back over the tunnel, behind the lift, and you're heading back towards the station then, so it's gonna be a great ride.
And hopefully the pond won't be frozen.
Yeah, it'll be a little warmer, we hope. Okay, here we are at the Maverick super secret train storage location.
And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick peek at the train. Shh, don't tell anybody we showed you this, but ooh. See, wheels, train, We're gonna show you a lot more, but we just can't do it right now because they're still covered up, but we'll show you in the next coming weeks. But it's cold, so we gotta go inside.
You wanna go home?
Yeah, I'm Tony.
And I'm Tyler.
And we'll see you on the next edition of PointCast.